What is going on, everyone? I'm Robert Mraz.
And I'm Fina Mraz.
And this is CV Hustle, the podcast dedicated to entrepreneurship here in the Coachella Valley. And for those of you that may not know, the Coachella Valley has a burgeoning comedy scene here in the valley, and it's spearheaded by a bunch of local comics. And today our special guest is one of those guys that's bringing that comic flair to the valley, Mr. Elijah James. Thanks for coming in today, man.
Hey, thanks for having me.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing great.
Yeah, and he's throwing shows down in the downtown Indio, Upcycle Comedy shows. That's how we kind of came to meet you. So thanks for coming in today, man.
Upcycle Comedy. Thanks for having me. This is the nicest couch I've been on in a while. So
we try, man.
It's already a good start.
You got to go to Mathis Brothers. They got some nice ones there.
Yeah, no, I run a comedy show. I don't got Mathis Brothers money.
True.
So I have a question for you. I don't know if you're local. I mean, we just met you that night. You heckled us. Thanks a lot. I went home and cried.
Yeah.
But
starting off swimmingly.
Dude, that jacket you were wearing, you were on fire.
Legitimately.
Yeah, it totally had the flames and all that.
Yeah,
I was like,
good.
Does your car have the flames?
Does my car? Yeah, no. I do sleep in a race car bed though. Yeah, so the
Lightning
jacket
McQueen
does,
action.
Exactly. Yeah,
that's
it was on
awesome.
sale.
Right.
But yeah, Upcycle Comedy. Yeah, you guys are great. It's a fun time. It's I got that jacket from the thrift store that we running out of in Indio, called Return of the Goods. The guys over there, they have like a wonderful shop. Everything is so like unique, as you've already seen. The space is like really great, and I feel like comedy and thrifting goes hand in hand because none of those hands got a lot of money. So then when you bring them together, you're like,
it's the best.
You're like, it's a family.
Well, we're gonna delve into that.
Yeah.
So you're a young gentleman.
Thank you.
I would like to know, are you from the valley or where are you from?
Yeah, I am from the valley. I'm from Palm Desert. I came out here when I was like really young though. Moved here with my mother. Went to Palm Desert High School. Yeah, all that fun stuff.
Came out here from where?
The Beaumont area.
Oh my God. I have so much family out there.
Really?
Yeah, my mom grew up there.
Mm.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So did you go to high school down here? Or?
Yeah, I did. Went to high school here.
Palm Desert
High School. All right, man. That's awesome. So you were a local guy. Comedy is not really a thing down here. So how did that progression? Was it something you always wanted to do? Is it something that you, as a kid, you saw like, Dave Chappelle? Were there like inspirations that kind of led you in that direction?
I feel like when I was younger, I was like always kind of like, I moved around a lot when I was young. So like making friends and keeping friends, all that stuff. The one constant was like, I had to learn to like be funny. To like, it's like I guess like a social skill that kind of like came about. But yeah, once like in high school, once I went to college, I never really thought of it as like something that I could like do as like a career, or even as like a passion. I just really didn't put a lot of thought into that. But then I came out here and I was doing like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, and yeah, I just kind of like fell in love with like seeing other people do comedy and then kind of think like, it's like I want to try that. And a lot of people do that, it's like that's a lot. I feel like a lot of people go to shows and they're like, I can do that.
Right.
And then you get there and you're like, can I do that?
Somebody throw a tomato.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, I'll use that tomato. But it's honestly, it's going from the first show to like, there's really nothing out here. You're right. So I'm lucky enough to be like a part of like a group of people that have really started to like, dig up a lot of like, the hard work to get comics to come out and all that stuff. And I mean, there is a lot of like really good local talent. So it's really not that hard. The promotion part is a little difficult, but we make it work, it's good.
Yeah. So when you said you went to college, where did you, hold on, let's go back to like you jumped around a lot.
Yeah.
So do you consider yourself a chameleon?
Oh yeah, we can get into the trauma. Yeah. I don't know who I am. No, I'm kidding.
We can go back into the therapist office.
Yeah, so like 1994. No, I feel like kind of, you kind of like when I was younger. One, comedy is all about like trying to like find out like where your niche is, where you fit in, just like in life. So you kind of like there's a lot of trial and error with that. So when it comes to like comedy, my comedy specifically, I try to just be like open to like everybody, like not like putting down anybody. unless like I did put you guys down at the show. But you guys had fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
We knew what we were doing. We're sitting in the front row for a
Yeah,
reason.
yeah. And like it's all lighthearted stuff, you know. I really do. People want to laugh at themselves, and like, you know, I want to laugh at myself, you know, self-deprecating in a bit. So it's like that's the type of comedy that I feel like I enjoy. It's the type of comedy everybody enjoys to a certain degree.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Speaking to that, so you kind of mentioned that you guys are kind of the forefront of comedy down here, and I mean, honestly, like I said, we went to your show like kind of by accident. Like we kind of
most
we
people
went.
do. You guys are trying to get away.
Well, we were eating downtown.
We wanted a funnel
at
cake.
the food trucks, and
she was disappointed.
And
That's what she said.
I heard there's a comedy show in like 10 minutes on the corner shop at the Urban Donkey. So we're like, hey, let's go. You know, we ain't got no kids. Let's go check it out. So, you know, just having those events. I mean, speaking to that, like from the business perspective, you know, what group of guys kind of got you going, and how did you guys kind of come to the realization? Because traditionally in comedy, right, you got to go do your rounds, you know, in LA and the bigger scenes,
markets,
right, and try and, you know, get your Netflix, you know, contract and all that. So how did you young guys, because there's a group of you guys, correct?
Yeah.
How did you guys kind of come together, and what was like the inspiration for, hey, maybe we can do this ourselves and throw our own shows?
I mean, I kind of did like follow suit. There were some people that came before me that had kind of like laid like a little bit of groundwork, and so like I was lucky enough to kind of like learn from them. And you know, so I wasn't going in completely like blind. Obviously doing a production on your own is like, there's a lot of like things that you're like not really aware of, because I'd only been like performing on shows for years. So I feel like with the young group of people that are here, Dakota Miracle, he was one. He does a lot of shows around here. He was like the first show, he put on a show that I first went to in the desert. And I remember like years ago when I asked him, I was like, oh, hey, is there like an open mic and all that stuff? And so, yeah, I mean, you know, went to open mics, you know, continue going, you know, was good enough to get on shows, to continue getting on shows. And then, you know, from there on, you're just kind of like, okay, you make the connections.
Right.
Yeah, it's all networking, honestly. And just doing it at like, most of these shows are happening at like bars.
Yeah.
So it's really difficult to network with alcohol, you can imagine. Yeah.
It makes it tough, right?
So hard. Yeah.
A lot of heckling going on. So I want to talk about, so you said you went to college. Where did you go to college?
Arizona State.
ASU,
Really?
Sun Devil here. Huh?
Amir went. We love their logo, right?
The Sparky?
The Sun Devil.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Sun Devil.
Yeah. The Sun Devil. I was like the pitchfork. Or,
Yeah. We
It was,
love that.
It was a great time. Didn't do a lot of studying, but yeah.
So what did you like major in?
When I went out there, it was criminal justice.
Oh,
You wanna be a cop or
love
what?
Criminal justice.
Yeah, I did.
Pull
Well,
over.
I mean, because you know, honestly, it's funny thinking back to it. I mean, I was young. I was raised by a single mother. I really wasn't like, oh, what can I do with my life to be like giving back, you know, in a type of sense, to feed me. And yeah, just being a cop, what seemed like it was like, you know, oh, that can be something that'd be great. That'd be a good pathway, very secure and all that stuff. But yeah, just as time went on, I kind of just found out that like I wanted to be like giving back and also validated in a different way, as opposed to just like, you know, having a badge, I guess.
Right.
And then I went to a couple classes, and then they showed me videos of like, you know, just cops getting shot like when they're doing like traffic stops, and I was like,
Autopsy photos.
I was like, man, yeah, not worth it. You know, it's a tough job, and I'm like,
good.
yeah. People say being a comic is a tough job. I'm like, there's some tough jobs out there. There's definitely some more tough jobs.
Wow.
But that definitely steered me away, and I was like, you know, like let's search, let's try and find something else. So
And that's what you should do when you're young. You should do this and do that, and then kind of figure out what you like to do. And I think that's the best time to do it, right? Your 20s, just kind of not go to shit, but like that you're kind of finding yourself.
yeah, it's trial and error.
Right,
Yeah,
for sure.
yeah, exactly.
Especially these days and age, because you're switching careers all the time. You know,
Yeah,
these days.
exactly.
It's gone are the days of working for a company for 50 years. You know, we're kind of all kind of
on the railroad.
Uh-huh.
So so then you were there
on
and
the
then
railroad. On the railroad back in the day. Wait, it was like, were you working on a railroad?
I don't know where that came from. Maybe in Monopoly we were talking about like
yeah.
old stuff.
You know, back when we were on the railroad all day.
Shoveling that coal.
Uh-huh.
So then you came back to the desert like everybody does, right?
Yeah, I went to one desert, back to another.
Back to the other desert.
Arizona was fun. Different than California.
For sure, right?
Yeah, I mean, slightly different. They act like they're so much different. It's just like the laws are just like a little weird. You know, it's like you can't go to like bars with like a vertical ID. You know, because it's like that could be like seen as like a fake. Essentially, you know how we have like horizontal IDs. Yeah. So it's like if you have like a vertical one, it's like, oh well, they're just turning 21.
Huh.
Yeah. That was a weird thing, and but they can also you can like ride in the back of a pickup truck on the freeway. Like just
for real,
no problem.
Just
still?
hanging out.
Yeah.
See, it's what we used to do.
Yeah, I mean, we used to
kids,
do that like
right?
in the 90s, but that was a long time ago.
That was back
man.
on the railroad.
That was in the 90s. That was like early 80s.
Well, no, even in the 90s, I can remember jumping in the back of a pickup truck and being driven around town. But
Those are the good
that's
old
been
days.
outlawed a long time ago.
Yeah.
So Arizona can still do that, huh?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Let's
That's
go.
crazy, man.
Let's go.
And you can also carry a weapon on your hip and nobody bats an eye at you, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got some crazy gun laws.
Honestly, I
out
don't even know
there,
if
too.
that's a law. I should just have a weapon on here. I'm not going to be like,
It's
hey,
actually-
what's that?
Yeah.
It's actually a must.
Yeah.
I mean,
Exactly.
It's like the Wild West over there. That's crazy, man. So when did you come back to? You said you came and kind of worked your way back to the desert.
I was there for like 2 to 3 years, and I was not like really paying attention to like my studies, and so you know, I was like, let me come back out here, get refocused, go to COD, and
Shout out to the Roadrunners.
yeah, shout out to the Roadrunners. I don't even know why I just shout that out. I mean.
You know what?
You guys do good work, but it's like I'm getting like a sponsorship.
Never know.
Yeah, right. It's like, hey, you guys got a scholarship?
Hey, maybe you can perform at their what do you call it?
Graduation.
Stadium.
Yeah, you guys won't
Graduation.
lose all your funding.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, that'd be great. But I went to COD, and I was just doing like, you know, finishing up my schooling and stuff like that, and I was kind of just working, trying to focus on that, and I mean, comedy came about, and that just became like, you know, the thing that I was really passionate about that made me just like want to continue doing it the most.
So when did it come about? You said like, when did you get so you said you had a bug younger, like what years did you really start going? Because I mean, it's kind of a rough start. Any comic I've ever talked to or heard interviews about, it's a rough start, right?
Yeah, there's really not like a blueprint.
You just got to go up there and do it, right?
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people ask, they're like, oh, how do you get started? And it's like, the same way, you know, I did. Find out for yourself.
Not gonna give you the secrets, right?
Exactly. I can give you the secret.
I don't want no
You
competition.
can't have my notebook.
No, but it genuinely is, and that is one thing I do like about this valley is that bigger markets will be like that. Here, you know, it's one come one all because it's, you know, it's so growing, and there's a lot of talent out here, and I feel like we kind of get overlooked because we are like, you know, in between San Diego or LA.
We're the redheaded stepchild.
Exactly. Yeah,
See?
exactly.
That's a good way to put
the
it.
black sheep.
Yeah.
And so when we like get new people, we're very accommodating, you know, because it's just like it's a big community. The more minds, the better, and it's the more eyes that are on us is the better too. You know, it's we get like just so many different types of people, older, younger, that are all interested in comedy, and you don't want to like be having to go out to like, you know, a casino all the time to be seeing a show. Because I mean, like you can, you know, those are good shows, like 100%. But like I used to perform at one of the casinos around here, like consistently, hosting shows. And it's good, but it's like, you know, the casino vibe is like, it's very niche, you know, it's not for everybody, you know, but it's like, I feel like with upcycled comedy, it's kind of like a more like, I don't want to say grunge, but it's kind of like it's
underground.
Like, it kind of is, you know. It's like for comedy, you know, and it's like there are a bunch of other like venues out here that are like that, and it's just cool, you know. You're starting to see a lot of people come out here from LA, from San Diego, just, you know,
Just
to live,
to
just to visit and to come through. I get a lot of people that hit me up to just be on shows like last minute that are like big names, and I'm like, yeah, totally, like this, it's a great place. But to answer your question,
What was the question?
No, the question was when did I start? I started before COVID. Like like I want to say like it was
That's kind of bad timing.
No, we needed to laugh.
Well, I mean,
No,
but
well,
then
no,
everything
to
got
start,
shut.
yeah, to start your dreams.
No,
where you had to be with people.
Yeah, we have to perform in front of
God,
people.
that's
Yeah,
right.
No,
That's a
it
tough-
was right. Yeah, I want to say it was like maybe like 7 or 8 months like before COVID.
Oh
hit.
wow.
Yeah.
Jeez.
And I mean, COVID was great. Like, you know,
Could
like,
do your comedy routine on Zoom.
yeah, no, yeah.
I mean, that's what a lot of people did.
a lot of
right?
people
For reals?
did that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
sure.
Shut
I
up.
know.
I was just joking.
I know.
No,
Exactly. They were too in front of monitors.
How do you get
Yeah.
paid?
I don't know. Like
Yeah.
that didn't make any
Yeah, who
sense to
cares?
me. Yeah, I just started. Yeah, so I wasn't like, like book me,
Yeah.
on AIM. Like, no one was doing that with dial up back in the
Right.
day.
No,
The kids
no.
don't know what that is.
No, they don't.
You youngins don't know what dial up is, all right?
Check it out.
Yeah.
YouTube it. I have a question because I'm trying to take it back. I want to know, is anybody funny in your family? Like, because you know how like artists or musicians kind of somebody in their family
yeah.
kind of passed that down. So
Yeah, I mean, like, genuinely, I feel like a lot of people in my family were funny, or at least they thought they were. It's back to trauma. We can take this to therapy. No, I think that I feel like my mother was a very funny person. I think that but also I kind of just feel like I used humor to cope with so many different things.
oh yeah, it's a nice little
Exactly. So it's like, people in my family were very funny. It's hard not to be when you have this much melanin. Everything is everything could be turned into a joke, and then you're just like, oh yeah. So you kind of learn that along the ropes.
and the right, the more trauma, the better.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Honestly,
I
without making this like
I
show like
mean,
too
No,
depressing.
right?
I'm not trying to do that, but I mean,
Y'all got a
what are
tissue?
some of the
That's
what,
okay.
well, some of the best guys that ever do it
Yeah.
in your world had some big time trauma. I mean, Richard
Yeah.
Pryor was born in a
oh yeah.
Drug had his mom was like like a drug house.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he lived with prostitutes.
I
So
know,
that's
right?
why he
Yeah.
was such a great. He basically did what you did, just turned all that
Yeah, I grew
into
up with prostitutes.
No,
in a drug
no, I'm
house.
saying, but take
You
the
heard it here
trauma.
first.
took the trauma and spun it.
He turned out to be the pimp.
Yeah. That's we can cut. No. As my arms are like this, like, with all these nice pillows. But yeah, no, it's very much so like, that was something I kind of learned to be funny in that respect, because I mean I was left home alone a lot, so this is before the internet, so I had to really use my imagination to kind of like get myself by. But yeah, my mother was working 2 jobs, so it's like when I was, doing my thing, I wasn't like, sometimes I was out doing things I shouldn't have been, some things I, just like kid stuff,
Of
just
course,
being
of
young.
course.
Yeah. But you kind of learn along the way, and that's kind of like, I feel like that's where my humor came from, is, just kind of how life, kind of teaches
Evolved.
you things.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And now that I look at it more, I'm more like introspective. I feel like I have a better way to like grasp those ideas into like a productive way. Yeah.
So when you said you were working jobs, what kind of jobs were you working?
I was a valet for a while.
Oh
Yeah.
God, how was that?
I mean, it was cool. It was
Crash
good.
any cars? We won't talk
I
about
was
that.
gonna, no, I mean, I didn't crash any cars, but like, that has happened, where like, a car gets dinged, and it happens to be a Ferrari. No, I never did that. Yeah. No, those cars, you're almost like too scared to even like move them.
Yeah.
No, but it was a really good job. It was at one of the resorts around here.
Yeah.
So it was 24/7, really good money, great
go.
cardio.
Oh yeah,
All right.
for sure.
Great.
Stay in
I
shape,
stayed in
man.
shape.
Exactly.
Running car to car to car.
Awful during summer.
I could imagine.
Yeah, you're like stepping into cars that are like 500 degrees. It feels
Oh,
like.
yeah.
It's awful.
Where's that AC?
All leather too. Real proud of it too. Like some assholes. But yeah, no, that was a good job. I got tipped a lot in weed.
What?
Yeah, for that job. I don't know why. Yeah, right.
I mean,
it's like
not the worst way to get a
And then
tip.
you're driving the car. It's
exactly,
like,
but that's
Right,
what I'm
I
saying.
mean-
Yeah, everyone's be like, hey, bro, and I'm like, am I getting
Yeah.
chopped right now?
Yeah,
Is this a
yeah.
test? And he's like,
Are
I
you
don't
a
have
co-
any cash
are you a
on
cop?
me, dude. Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, I accepted it because, times are tough.
That's right,
And,
man.
I mean, street value, right? Got some street value.
Exactly. My bills, it was hard to pay them. But yeah, California Edison does not take marijuana, which is surprising.
I mean,
who would have thought?
Get it together over there.
Yeah, I know. It's maybe like more of an IID type of thing. But yeah,
So you did that, and then what did you end up doing? Like, was there anything you liked, or is it like what?
Is there anything I liked?
Right.
I hated it all.
Well, I'm saying you're trying out different things.
But no,
and
I
then...
did enjoy being a valet. I was there for a while. I met a lot of saw a lot of celebrities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Any famous autographs you got?
No autographs.
Here's my sleeve.
Andy Garcia.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Garcia, what's that from? It sounds familiar.
Exactly.
He was in Godfather 3.
Oh, he's my brother. Just kidding.
Yeah, no, he gave me $5.
Nice.
You laugh at that, right? Yeah. Andy Garcia, man. He came back to give me $5 too. I was like,
okay.
So it's tough, being an actor, SAG, all that stuff. It's not as hard as it looks. Yeah. But I'm trying to think of who else. I met a bunch of people. DMX.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I saw DMX. Yeah. I remember he complimented me on my watch, and I was a big DMX
I am
fan
too.
as a kid,
I loved his that voice talk about that grunge.
Exactly, right? Where my dogs at?
That's right.
I think that he just couldn't not talk. Remember, have you guys heard his Christmas song?
No.
He does not have a Christmas song.
He has a Christmas song.
Jingle bells, jingle
You never heard the
bells.
Christmas song?
DMX has a Christmas song?
Yeah. What are you guys talking about?
We're going to go YouTube it.
Nah, you could pull it up. You could cut through this interview, and
my
if
God.
you go find the Christmas song by DMX, it's like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
No.
I'm not even
BS,
kidding.
bro.
I'm not even kidding. Okay.
No way. Nobody
Your
has
kid
it.
knows. Your kid,
I'm gonna look that up after this show.
That's
You already
a real
got me.
thing, okay?
You already got me thinking about that now.
I'm trying to think of what else. There was Mac Miller.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
wow.
Mac Miller.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
We like
Talented
Yeah, very
dude.
talented.
Talented.
Right
Troubled
there,
dude.
I just named off 2 rappers that have died, so it's like
Right.
there's some other celebrities out there.
Let's quit while we're ahead.
But the trauma, it makes me funny. No, but yeah, Mac was really cool.
That's
But yeah, you meet so many, because a lot of people come here for Coachella and just to get away from the town.
For sure.
Yeah, and it's just a great time. Other jobs I did, I work in the restaurant, like a lot of different restaurants.
Good
and stuff
money,
like that.
I hear,
Yeah,
for a short amount of
Yeah.
hours, right?
Yeah.
kinda-
I currently bartend at a place. And
Now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
While
okay.
also doing comedy. Yeah.
So how many hours would you say you do comedy a week? Is it like a not a full-time job? Is it
mean,
regular?
Yeah, right now we're doing 2 shows a month at the location that we have for Upcycled. I personally that's what I run, and so any other shows I get on, it's in a week it's kind of tough because you're kind of doing a lot of it's a lot of editing, you guys know. It's a lot of behind the scenes stuff, getting ready for shows, but on stage time, yeah, I can't really even tell you how much in a week. It's not enough.
Well, it's too. So what do you mean editing? What are you editing?
All his content.
Yeah, the content.
It's all about content in his world, right?
Yeah.
So you don't say the same jokes over and over?
I try. Girl,
if I'm in a different city.
I don't. Yeah, no, I try not to.
Okay.
Start shaking. No,
Stop questioning
everybody
me.
has bits, it's you do all that stuff,
Right.
And it's the same, it is repetitive at sometimes, that's kind of why I enjoy doing crowd work, that's how I met you guys.
Right.
But because that stuff is always authentic and brand new.
Yeah.
But yeah, the jokes, you gotta run them through. You gotta see what works in different situations. But editing, the footage, you film everything. You gotta do all the promotion, all the other stuff, which I hate.
Yeah, that's
Oh
not
my
your thing. I'm
gosh.
just why do you think we hire Danny? We're like, bye.
Yeah, it is. It's a grind, But also when you're having to see yourself after you perform,
that's got to be the worst. Right?
Yeah, it's
because you're constantly critiquing yourself,
It
right?
is,
Every
yeah.
little thing, you're like, oh, I could have did this, I
you're
could have did that.
why am I why are my eyes going in 2 different directions?
Right.
You're like, yeah, I didn't know
Stuff that doesn't really matter in the grand scheme of the performance,
Oh,
but
yeah.
you're always your worst critic if you're an artist. You're always going to be
is-
the worst if you're a good artist, you're always going to be your worst critic, right?
Yeah,
I think.
yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm just,
Well, I mean, we'll critique you too.
Yeah, no, thanks. You know, yeah, hop on. You know, but yeah, that is like a part of it because the whole social media world is everywhere now. You really
Right.
got to try to like, you know, be your best promoter. You got to put yourself out there. But you know, if you're a perfectionist, which I am, and I'm recovering from that, trying to work through
Right?
that
Right.
is
Oh, yeah.
awful. Yeah, because you want things to be done a certain way.
Oh yeah.
But like sometimes, you know, just doing them is all that matters.
Right.
You know, and that's the thing. You know, a lot of people talk about like doing stand up or doing anything in life, entrepreneurship and all that. It's like, oh, if it isn't like this, I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
But like you just gotta take steps.
Yeah, go for
'cause
it.
progress is like not gonna happen while you're like waiting,
Mhm.
while you're for something to be perfect. You know, you just gotta like continue to make steps forward, trial and error.
yeah.
Yeah.
How often are you writing? I know you got, as a comic, you got to sit down and write, right?
Yeah, you know.
Consistently, right? Just to keep a little bit of trial, like you said, trial and error, right? A
Yeah,
lot of
yeah,
it's
yeah.
trial and error.
Definitely want to take from like what's happening in the world, you know, all the time.
Oh my
and
gosh! Didn't
yeah.
you do RFK or what? Remember?
Yeah.
Oh, I was gonna ask about RFK
Oh, okay.
pretty later, but
Yeah.
Oh, later.
yeah,
Okay.
we're gonna
Yeah,
talk to RFK pretty
We'll
at
talk to
the end.
RFK. Oh man, I don't know. We'll see if we can get him here, man. RFK here. That'd be
Let's
great.
channel him.
Uh-huh.
Just shirtless with like a bear head. But yeah, it's I definitely have to take time to like, you know, separate myself and like write. You know, it is something that you kind of want to be cautious of because back in the day, I would be like, I feel like everybody kind of does this. Like you'd be laughing, having a good time with your homies. You're like, oh, it's a funny idea, and it's like you'll forget that idea ever happened.
Right.
Comedy's like all about like having that idea and then writing it down and then coming back to it and then like putting more thought
Expanding
into it. Yeah, trying to like put yourself in that situation. Like, why was that funny? Why would that be funny to people that like aren't in that situation or don't like aren't my homies, you know, or aren't drunk, you know?
Right.
So it's like you kind of have to like be introspective in that way and just think about it from all different avenues. But yeah, I mean, open mics, doing it on stage is the best way to do it. But yeah, definitely, I try to take time to write. So I'm like, you know, you get peace. You know?
Right.
That's
Do you
what's
and your homies in the comedy world share jokes? I mean, because some things might be, you know, you may need to look a certain way to tell a certain joke or something like that.
Yeah,
I've heard of
yeah.
instances where comedy crews kind of, you know, write for each other sometimes. Does that go down?
Oh yeah,
that-
no,
down-
definitely, it does. It's important because like you know, if you're in a good like setting, like a good like comedic, you know, environment, everyone's kind of like thinking about things as like, oh, this could be a good punchline, this could be something you can expand on, you know, and it's like there are no egos, then it's like that's where like the best growth can come from.
Yeah.
And I feel like that like the group that like is out here, there is like that like synergy, which is important because you know it's hard to like just be like, oh, it's just me, I'm gonna make it, you know. It's like you could do that, like, but that's a big climb, you know. It's like it's better to do it as a family, you know, as like a bunch of different people like coming together.
Yeah, it's easier to do it as a village and not as an individual, right?
Exactly.
I think that's true of a lot of
And
things.
I think a lot of like comedians that we've seen or because we, you know, we like to watch documentaries and things like that.
Yeah.
They always had kind of this like core little crew or, you know, that they see a lot or they're everybody just, you know, goes in the same circles kind of, you know, so
Mhm.
I could, you know, their little gang, if you will.
Yeah, no, yeah,
And,
my fiance watches a lot of murder documentaries.
Oh, so do I. I go to bed to them.
Oh
You go
my
to bed to
gosh.
them?
I hear
Yeah,
it's
she's
not
crazy,
healthy.
man.
She's
crazy,
I hear it's
man.
not healthy.
When I know when the Dateline's on, that she's gonna be in the room
She about
asleep.
to-
The pillows over my
just
head.
taking in all that.
the pillows over your head.
Taking in all
She's
that.
getting ready for
Uh-huh. Set me
Mommy's
up.
ready to.
Yeah, she's like,
Set-
I'm just gonna go to sleep.
Setting me up right
It's all
there.
done.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Ta-da.
Yeah, I don't know.
Come home late for work, be like, what is all this? This rose petals is blood. What's happening?
Oh man. So how did you meet your fiance?
I here in the valley. I was the
Okay.
funniest person she met. She would say that. She's not here to say it, but
But I know she's thinking it.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
she's constantly thinking it.
She constantly tells me.
Yeah, she can't help but think it
Oh my
because
god.
now this is out, you know, in the world. It's on the
Right.
internet.
Oh,
That's
nobody's
always-
gonna watch
That's
this.
always facts.
Yeah, we're good. You're good.
So what I work or my building is on Highway 111 in Palm Desert, like on that little frontage road. So I'm right next door, not next door, but a few doors down from the Red Barn.
Oh, okay.
So are you gonna hit them up because I know it's music, but
Yeah, they have a stage in there, correct?
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah.
I haven't been to the new one because they just like renovated and all
Yeah,
stuff. But
sure.
yeah, I remember. I mean, I've performed at the Red Barn before when it was when it wasn't nice.
Right?
When
yeah.
it was $3 drinks,
Yeah,
and
when
all
it
the,
was
all the
when it was
local alcoholics were in the crowd.
Oh yeah.
Scared to go into those bathrooms.
Oh yeah, exactly. You know, that's I performed at some pretty sketchy places, you know. Yeah, Red Barn was one of them. What's another one? I performed in this one place like out in like DHS where like they paid us like in like catfish and like and like the promoter got like in a fight with like some random it was like it used to be a church, but they turned it into like a kitchen. It was I don't even know what it was. Yeah.
Wow.
Did they pay you?
Yeah, they did. You know,
Girl, I need payment before.
They did pay us before. A couple of us got like hit up, and we went out there, and like the tickets to go out there, it was kind of like overpriced when like because I had heard about it last minute, and I was like, yeah, sure, I'll go out and do a show. So and so, a couple other people are going, and then I was like, oh man, this is a little bit.
This is intense.
Yeah. You know, whenever the guy like the host is fighting somebody, you know, you're like. Yeah, this is a legit like comedy venue. We're all gonna get big after this. Netflix,
right? I mean, something could go viral in there. If there's a fight, you know, that could help.
It could have been, you know, but it was mostly used for evidence.
Yeah,
you know,
true.
I'm trying to think of like what.
There could have been a producer in the crowd, right? A scout, right? Like for football.
Yeah, a producer. If there was a producer out there, they weren't producing anything. I want to be a part of. Maybe like one of them Dateline murders or something like that.
Baby, now you're talking.
What is up with that? Like women, they y'all are like obsessed with like murder.
Yeah, it's weird, man.
I don't know because I think I'm just like, how can people do that? And how is this really somebody's life?
Yeah.
And thank God it's not mine.
Yeah, that is.
You know, so maybe I'm just.
I do the same thing with like reality dating shows.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, do you watch those?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Wow.
I'm an addict,
dude.
Like,
have you watched The Golden Bachelor?
No, I haven't.
Oh, that was awesome because I'm old, so I like to see old people fall in love.
Yeah, that one's like it's heartfelt. You know, it's like it makes sense. You know, you're like, oh, this is good TV. I'll be watching like Love Is Blind. You know, or
Isn't
like
there something Island.
Temptation Island.
Yeah.
Oh, God,
Temptation
man.
Island is
Wow.
amazing.
Oh my God.
You want to feel good about yourself? Feel about how like I'm in a great situation. Do you know what Temptation Island is?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. All right, I was gonna like.
Talked about
I don't know.
Bobby hates.
I will
those
not
kind
watch
of
any
people.
reality
so
TV.
what they
Too
do is
badly.
they take it's you say that, so they take these couples. It's like 4 couples usually. They're sort of like at a make or break point. And so the idea is to put them on this island, and the guys will get separated and the girls will get separated into different villas. In these different villas, there will be like 12 new like singles that are like essentially trying to tempt them.
That's freaking horrible.
It's amazing. it's the best thing that ever happened on television. And so like as the days, the weeks go on, the 4 guys, the 4 girls, they'll like meet up with like the host, and they'll get snippets of like what the other person in the relationship is doing.
Oh wow.
With no context. So like you might see something, you'll be like, well, what's that mean? But then you might see some stuff where you're like, our relationship is over.
You're right.
It's amazing. They had like one in I think Spain recently, and it went viral. This guy like he ripped off his shirt like when he was at the bonfire because his girl was with another guy, and he was like, "Ayúdame!" and ran on the beach. It was great TV,
man.
But yeah, Golden Bachelor. Yeah. You know,
it's a little bit more slow paced.
Yeah, I don't think you're getting that in the Golden Bachelor.
Golden Bachelor, you're like, yeah, my sciatica. What's the date?
I mean,
I'm not
they're
doing
like,
that. I got vertigo.
They're like, I'm 68. I better get it together. I better find love. You know,
find love
at any age.
I mean, you're gonna croak pretty soon. You better get going.
I didn't want to say that, but
I mean, it's the truth.
I didn't want to say it, but
I mean,
I think everyone that was watching it is thinking it.
You got a point there.
So the whole point of that show is just to watch people fight, basically, like couples fight, and
not like necessarily fight, but like because a lot of them, it's like the guys are like, oh man, like I cheated, she can't let go of that. Like I'm a good dude, and then they'll like go there, and he's like, I'm here to prove myself, and then he sees like 12 women in bikinis, and they're just like all like gorgeous, and he's like, I'm gonna be fine, you know. And they fold immediately.
Oh my God.
And then they meet back up and they're like, I love you. And it's like, man, we saw what you did. It's just honest, you know? And that's what I think. I'm like, that's the most honest thing on TV.
Wow.
Oh my God. So, you know, I have a tidbit for you. So you were saying that you're in situations and something could be really funny, and like you're like, I gotta remember that.
Yeah.
Get out your voice notes and just
Oh,
be like,
yeah.
go to the back. I gotta remember that.
Yeah. No,
Right.
that's a good one.
Do you ever dream about stuff?
Oh yeah, but like,
And then,
I hate dreaming.
Right?
Because you
And then
forget, right? Like
Not even like I
You
forget.
don't
I
feel
f-
any like you got any sleep.
exactly. Yeah, that's
Really?
it. I feel like my dreams are like I mean TikTok's like I feel like I'm ADHD. Like TikTok diagnosed me at this point, but yeah, my dreams are awful. Like I'm just like, oh, can I just get a rest? Like I just wish I couldn't dream anymore, which sounds dark, but like it's too active. You know, you kind of want to just like
See?
pass out.
So that's a creative curse then, huh?
Yeah.
It is.
I
I mean,
have-
she's probably dreaming about like getting murdered or like running away from a murder or solving a murder. So like
Solving a murder.
yeah. So
You know,
Solving
and
a
I think it's
murder.
because I used to play Clue when I was a little
Oh
kid.
my god.
that's a natural progression. You'd be like, why do you want to join the FBI? Well, I used to play Clue. And
It worked.
Wow.
Yeah, but I told Bobby, everybody that comes in here does have ADHD, and it's a superpower. So you get stuff
I
done,
mean,
don't you think?
it's a
Makes you good-
superpower. Like realign this like 4 times.
Makes you good at business, apparently. I mean, a lot of the
Yeah.
people, a lot of the most
Yeah.
successful people we've talked to, there's some ADHD going on because I know it when I see it these days. So
Oh, yeah.
it's
Well, he
definitely-
lives with
I've
it.
already
Yeah.
counted all the toothpicks. In here.
That's OCD.
Yeah.
That's Ozempic. You know,
Yeah.
just like
right.
gotcha.
I need. You know where I can get some?
You know, I honestly I don't. I think that if you're hyperactive on ADHD, that's like a natural Ozempic.
Right?
You know, just
Oh my
constantly
gosh.
thinking about trains.
So Upcycle Comedy show. Can you kind of tell us where the inspiration for that came and how that kind of came to be?
Oh yeah. So I was going to this thrift store, Return of the Goods in Indio.
Shout out to Mata.
Yeah. Mata puts on a great place. All the pieces are amazing. I was going there for a while, and before it was just full of like so much crap. Like it wasn't spacious. Like there was a lot of stuff in there before.
Right.
And so like in my head, I've always been like, I was like, I just like the idea of like thrifting, and like I think a comedy space would be cool because I feel like a lot of people that are into comedy would also be like, oh, comedy works when it's like nostalgic. In my opinion, it's like there's something that like takes you back, to a time where you're like, oh, this is like, very reminiscent of like
Could do it at Disneyland.
the comedy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nostalgic.
Oh yeah. I guess you could. They probably murder you like on site. Like that'd be a Dateline episode about that. He just walked on the Small
Matterhorn,
World.
yeah.
Matterhorn.
Oh, that's jacked
Matterhorn
up.
gets you, man.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, you're not signed by us, buddy.
I'm talking about a comedy show though.
Yeah. No, I know what you're talking
I
about.
want to get killed on the Matterhorn.
Disney? Are you kidding me? Like.
Okay,
we're
sorry.
We're about to get drone strikes right now at Disney with this.
All right,
But
I digress.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think with the thrifting aspect of that, I was going there a lot, and it always connected to me, and so I was doing comedy. Monta had saw me in a video from like one of his like friends had like shown him, and he was like, oh, he's like, oh, I sold that guy like that jacket or like that shirt or something like that. And so because I wear a lot of his pieces, around town while I'm on stage.
So you're a vintage guy.
Yeah, very much so. And so when he came up to me when I was shopping, he was like, oh, like you do comedy? And then we just kind of vibed, and I was like, yeah, let's get a show going. And then
Nice.
first show went really well, second show went really well, and now it's just been like a good progressive like learning experience, where we're just like constantly thinking of new ideas and like how to make the shows better.
I have an idea to make the show better.
Get Disneyland.
Everybody sits in a recliner and gets a bag of popcorn.
Like
VIP or what?
yeah, right.
You pay $20, you're in the front with it.
20,
I think 30.
Yeah, right. The
It's gotta be
recliners.
double. It's gotta be
Our
double
chair
for a
guys,
recliner.
we get a good deal on chairs. I don't know if like recliners are gonna be in the budget yet, but we'll let you know.
Would that be
alright?
cool?
You guys will be the first ones to know.
VIP,
alright?
We
right?
want to be the first
We
ones
want-
to sit
yeah,
I
in
want the
one.
VIP
Well,
recliner.
you guys thrifted this, like,
See?
right? Yeah, it was like
Actually, I need a show before and afters.
exactly.
You'd be
exactly.
amazed.
Yeah, hey, I'm down. I get a lot of videos on TikTok of like people like refurbishing like stuff.
Oh,
you know?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm like a real like old white lady when it comes to that. Dude. All I see are just like it's sourdough bread and people like making a
Sourdough
dresser
bread.
really nice, and I'm just like, man,
Man,
this is crazy.
You're gonna be knitting pretty soon, man.
Oh yeah, you want to see this? No, I'm just kidding.
Bobby loves him some sourdough too.
I too.
Oh yeah, sourdough's great.
Can't mess with sourdough.
Oh, it's amazing.
I started making it at home.
You did?
Yeah.
You have a sourdough starter?
I made my own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like,
But with my ADHD, I'm over it because it took too long. I need something fast.
So now you
This
go
is
to
true.
Panera.
This is true. You stunk up the house for 2 weeks for like one loaf of
Oh,
bread.
it smells so good. But now what I'm into, you know what I'm going to do this weekend? Make some beef jerky.
That's the
Gotta
next
do
thing.
RFK Jr.
Gotta
over
do-
here, dude.
Gonna do some
Yeah.
roadkill. Some roadkill.
Nice segue there.
She's gonna make her own beef jerky. Gonna start going on gambling riverboat trips.
That
That's
sounds
cool.
kind of fun.
It's like I think it's the plot to Step Brothers, but yeah, we can.
I'll be the youngest person on there, so that makes me feel good.
Yes, you will. That's funny. You're making your own beef jerky, like
Yeah, why not?
I'm not on that side of TikTok, but like, what's
I'm
the
so down.
process? Like,
Well,
how long does it take?
I bought a dehydrator. I don't know. I'll let you know.
You don't.
We're gonna figure it out.
Well, this is how crazy I'm. Like, we went to Big Bear recently. Went to the House of Jerky.
Okay.
And I bought the best jerky and I turned it around. Ingredients. And I bought all those ingredients.
Yeah,
I'll make it
just
this
salt,
weekend.
air.
Dude, pineapple juice
Really?
and
Yeah.
soybean like paste. I had to buy it off Amazon. It came with like some Chinese like wording. I don't even know how to, I don't even know how to
Okay.
Might
use
need
it.
to- you might need to double check that.
Yeah,
You'll
right.
be my
that-
taste tester.
Yeah, I don't think I'm volunteering for that taste test.
Bobby's
all the Chinese
my
ingredients.
potato salad test.
That's true.
Test
Oh,
taster.
yeah,
So
yeah.
it needs a little more salt.
Well, I'm half white, so I can.
Yeah, I was
Oh.
like, I'm not a potato salad.
Yeah, I
guy,
can get the
you know?
potato salad cracking, man. That and coleslaw. That's
Coleslaw,
what-
his
hey,
favorite. I'm like,
that's that half
ugh.
white coming through, man.
Hey, I can do
Aw.
slaw if it's not like mayonnaise based, you know.
Get
Not a fan
good-
of mayonnaise.
Yeah, get that slaw going.
He's like,
man.
I love mayonnaise. I brush my teeth.
I mean,
I'm like,
He's looking
"You're-
right at the
you're
camera. He's like, I'll eat it all day.
I'm like, you're gonna eat that from KFC? Ooh.
so upcycle, back to
She's gonna
upcycle.
make
Back to-
beef jerky. You're gonna eat KFC. I can make you KFC, as you were saying.
Back to upcycle. So you said the first
Gotcha.
couple shows were, you
Line
know,
up.
we're a success, you know.
Yeah.
So how long has that been running? How long you have you been doing that show? I mean, it's been a while, right?
Yeah, it's been like I want to say 4 or 5 months.
That's it,
Yeah,
really?
it really has not been that long.
Wow,
Really?
4 or
Yeah.
5 months.
Yeah, when you sent me the email and you were like, "What was your first year like?" and I was like,
we're in it.
"Yeah," I was like,
You're part of it, baby.
I'll let you know at
I'm
the
telling
end.
you, I'm telling you right now. I guess
It's only 4 months, huh?
Yeah,
I mean,
we
that's
haven't been doing it that long, but I mean, 2 shows a month. You know, the time flies. It kind of just feels like it's like, oh wow, you know,
Yeah.
we're already here. But yeah, it's been good. You know, great responses. You know, from everybody. This is like because like you know the desert's seasonal, so it's
Mhm.
like we got like the whole tennis tournament. You know, like
Coachella's coming out.
Coachella's coming up, all that stuff, and yeah, now it's windy here all the time.
I know it's horrible, man.
Yeah, I don't,
Yeah, what the hell?
I don't know. I think it's the Disney. They're building something on some
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what somebody
burial
told
ground
me.
or something like
I
that.
know.
you
Hey,
The
man, I'm
spirits
with
are
it.
upset, man.
Yeah, it's not going to be windy there at all. Watch.
Right? It's gonna be
Yeah.
all,
You'll be
woohoo.
like, how is this happening? But yeah, it's been a good process. You know, I mean, like Monta's been really great, gracious about like you know the space and like how everything has like been working. It's very collaborative, you know, and everyone's like putting their heads together to make it work, and you know people coming through, you know, it's more, you know, it's happening. And Indio's a great area. I feel like I love that spot.
Yeah.
You know, it's so much like, you know, younger business, you
Yeah.
know, like instead of just like all these big big businesses that are coming in, which you see in like certain areas, you know, like on El Paseo,
Mhm.
it used to be like more mom and pops, but now it's
Bigger.
starting to become more like mainstream, you know, which
Yeah.
is good. You know, I get it. Like, but also now all that stuff's getting pushed out to Indio.
Right.
And I feel like the people that are locals, their vibe is to go out to those local spots.
Oh yeah.
So I think that it actually works. It's beneficial.
It works.
You know? Yeah, it works.
Right. And I mean, if you haven't been to the show, it's every other Friday, right? Correct?
Yeah.
Every other
it's
Friday.
Every other Friday we do it. 2 shows a month.
8 p.m.
Yeah, well, it's like 8:30, 8 p.m. You know, it's like if you follow us on like Instagram, you know, you can get tickets through Eventbrite. You'll see the times. You know, unfortunately, with things with comedy, people show up like they'll get tickets and they still show up like later.
Right.
You know, and I'm like shows at 8, and they'll just like be like, "Oh, we're here for the show. Did you get tickets?" And like, yeah, it's like, well, you're here at 8:30. You know, it's like so we kind of do like push it a little bit, but the good thing about that is though. it gives more time for people to like enjoy the space, which is very like unique. You know, it's like you can do a little thrifting, you can see like the art. You know, like they have all these like old vintage cameras. It's a really cool like unique spot.
Oh, totally.
You know, so it's not like you're just like waiting around for someone to tell you a joke.
Yeah. I want one of those boom boxes.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, he's
Those are
got
cool,
like
man.
all these like really cool stuff, you know.
Yeah.
It's very unique. Yeah.
I have a question. How did you come up with the name Upcycle? And hold on, let me tell you what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you were bicycling up that hill of success.
Yeah,
there you
no,
go.
totally. Yeah, that works. Yeah.
I'm gonna use that from now on.
You know, gotta put like a bike on the logo now. I'm like, yeah,
And a hill.
sponsored by Schwinn.
Yeah.
No, well, upcycling is like a term that you use for like refurbishing something. You know,
Ah.
like it's like because like the whole thrifting, you know, recycling, all that stuff.
I see it.
I put a lot of stuff into ChatGPT and it came back really crappy. So like there was a lot of like I was like, maybe I can just like figure out a little something. I wanted something that like is short to the point. You know, didn't want to be like some like I didn't want to do something that's like hand me down jokes or anything like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's like upcycling, you know, it's you upcycled, you know, the jokes, you know, upcycled comedy, you know, it's not like the same type of comedy, you know, we're not doing the same jokes. You just can't go to the same show. You just can't go to the same show in the same month. But yeah, it's like everything should be like upcycled, you know, it's up to scale, you know.
Huh.
Yeah.
And don't talk about ChatGPT. That's like my best friend.
Hey, I'll put my phone away.
talking about on my phone.
You're always having conversations with ChatGPT.
I am.
Yeah,
She
no
is.
conversations.
Yeah, because
Conversations.
Our cousin, tell him.
No, your story. You
Fine,
tell it.
I'll tell it. So our cousin
Siri
says, I need to be talking to ChatGPT about my business, about this. You know, give Fina software for a tile company and blah. And it just goes.
Yeah.
No, but I mean, I talk about like, how come Bobby doesn't tell me he loves me every day?
Oh my God.
Yeah, right.
But what did they say?
ChatGPT starts hitting on her. You know? He's like, you don't need that. It's like, wait.
Call me, baby.
Yeah, right. Where did ChatGPT get this voice? Like,
Jeez.
what?
I'm here 24/7 for you.
He doesn't understand you like I do. He doesn't know that you're a Leo rising.
Oh my God. I mean, it's coming.
We could watch Dateline together. Exactly.
Yep.
That is
they won't
what's
hate on.
scary.
They won't hate on your Dateline. That's for sure.
It's gonna be
Many-
Temptation Island.
yeah.
It's gonna be her and her phone.
Yeah. My battery died.
Speaking of ChatGPT, how is it with comedy? Is it giving you any good material for your shows?
I know. I do not.
I mean, you gotta be. There's got to be some temptation to see what it spits out, right?
Yeah, I mean, but like, I think that all that AI software, and a lot of people are kind of like, oh man, it's like it's really like taken over. It's like, yeah, it is in a sense, but that's more like technical stuff,
Right.
You know, like that's more like I things that are matter of fact.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy's not like a matter of fact. It's more of
Yeah.
like you got to be like with the people,
Right.
You know. It's like
You gotta think. You gotta
this
think on your.
stupid thing doesn't know what's funny.
That
all
thing
right?
has
I
no.
tell it what's
That thing
funny.
has no soul, man.
Yeah,
No
exactly.
soul, man. You gotta have some soul.
It just
to be
takes my
good at
soul away
comedy.
when it's like, you know, oh, you got 2 likes.
Never mind.
Cool.
It rips your soul
Yeah,
out. But,
exactly.
but though you're right, though it doesn't have the human touch, and I think comedy
Yeah.
is human touch, right? You knowing
Exactly.
your audience, knowing the environment you're in, knowing
Human touch with consent.
Yeah, but I'm saying it's a very human art
Usually.
form, right? It's like human to human.
Yeah,
And I don't think
exactly.
a chat bot or anything could ever really duplicate that.
Yeah, I don't see that happening. I mean, you see about like in the news, like some production companies, like movie studios, are starting to use like AI.
Yeah. Music. Drake
yeah.
did a song. Somebody did a song with Drake with AI.
Yeah,
and
that
it's
was
all
crazy.
AI.
Yeah, it was good. So that does happen, but I don't think that comedy it can work like that. Luckily, there's enough stuff to talk about in this season of America and
Oh
life.
gosh!
You know,
I mean, you guys are gonna have a field day with.
they honestly
this,
need to take a break
with the government. The government needs to
can't
give you
keep
guys
up.
time
Yeah,
to keep up so you can write some material,
It is
man.
the between the Tesla, you know, they need to take a break. Like I'm
Right?
just like we need to start writing something that makes more sense because they're just throwing everything at us now.
With the kitchen sink.
I mean,
Okay,
it's a lot. Right
So
now.
with that being said, like, do you have any mentors in the comedy world? I mean, some are funny, some guys are not funny. You know?
Yeah, no, well, honestly, I haven't really been lucky enough to like have
Well, who
like
makes you laugh in the comedy world?
This really
Nobody.
funny guy named Elijah James. No, No, so many people, honestly. Shane Gillis is really funny. Bill Burr. Those are like I would say like the two big names. Namish Patel.
Oh my gosh, I think I follow him on
Nikki
TikTok.
Glazer's really good.
Oh my god, she was hilarious.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There are a lot of comedians that I enjoy. But I genuinely try not to watch too much stand up.
Really?
Yeah, just because like I don't want to like be influenced. You know, it's like I if I do watch it, you know, it'll be like short form, or like I'll like if I really like somebody, then I'll like take time to like, you know, enjoy that. But I mean, all comedians are different. I can't be the one that's just like, oh, but like if I'm trying to like think about like writing jokes or something like that, it's like I have to shut myself off from like watching other stuff because I don't want to be influenced. I don't want to like be taking jokes.
No,
or
but I
taking
mean,
different things.
but it's also about like their style, right? Like we love Dave Chappelle,
Well,
right?
exactly.
That's the GOAT.
That's
to me, that's the GOAT.
Yeah. And then
just because my generation, Chappelle Show. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
I watched tons of Chappelle Show, so like all the skits,
ultimate.
that was very much so like that is what formed me. I watched a lot of Conan.
Conan's hilarious.
Oh yeah, he's a funny guy.
A lot of late night Conan, even like the stuff where he's like in the streets and how he's like dealing with people. He's like probably the wittiest person like ever, and that would be like the goal, is just to be like striving to be like that quick and that like friendly, because he'll say some stuff that's like off the handle, but everyone just like gets into it. I would say like those are kind of like my biggest inspirations, but yeah, I try not to watch too much, because the mannerism thing, when you go to bigger markets like in LA, you'll see a lot of people that like do jokes and how they say things, how they like talk. It'll be just like Dave Chappelle. Yeah, but it's been a good time, honestly. I feel like I've been doing it for like, I want to say 5-6 years actually, and it's I know, right? Doesn't look like it.
You're like a baby, like 12, with facial hair again.
Thank you. I am like a baby child, and if you'd like to come support this baby child, my Cash App and Venmo.
Please donate here.
Yeah, no, it's I that's what's cool about like comedy, is you do feel very like young in a sense, always, because you're always looking for like new stuff, new inspiration.
You got to be locked in with the culture, right?
Exactly. It's not too like mundane and like you have older like people that do it, and you don't want to be stagnant, you know. So it is very like a young like type of like energy constantly. Right.
Well, and they do say laughter is good for the soul.
Yeah.
Right. So like we want to hang out with some comedians and just laugh your ass off.
Exactly.
But when you go to the shows, you see all kinds of ages, young, old. I mean, comedy is pretty universal, right?
Exactly.
It's a universal language. I mean, if you're funny, you're funny. You could be 15 or 68. It's funny. So that's what's up, man. I love the art form. I think it's very underrated in our culture. I think what you guys do is really hard. Oh, thank you. It's not like you think. Everybody thinks, oh, they're just going up there and telling jokes. Like, oh, you go try that, bro. Like standing up in a crowded room and going up there and bombing for 20 minutes because you're just working out your set. I mean, that takes some balls, man.
Yeah, I mean, fortunately, you try not to bomb.
But it happens, right?
Yeah,
it happens.
Yeah, but like even if like a joke doesn't hit, a seasoned comedian, someone that's good at what they do, they can use that. And
yeah, but are you expecting people to laugh at every single thing you say? You're like, yes.
Yeah, that's the goal.
That's the goal. No, I mean some things.
It's a comedy show, right?
I do comedy. If you're like one laugh, I'm good.
No, but I mean like
don't want to do too much laughing. It's like
everything could hit. I don't know.
No, but that is, you try to throw out stuff. Like it's funny because when you go to open mics, you'll be doing shows in front of other comedians, mostly, so no one's laughing. And that's a good thing. It's like it's supposed to like make you tough. You're supposed to learn and try to like work on the things, but also you're trying to be like, well, is this working? Is this funny? All that stuff in your head. But then when you go to like actual shows and you try something will crush. Something will be like, oh wow, I didn't realize it was that good. So it's all about steps and levels. And there's like, obviously you take steps back, but that only takes you to a place to where it's like, okay, well now I can think about this in like a different way.
You're like the trauma. It's back.
Yeah. The trauma. It's like Dateline all over again. Mommy.
So I hear you do a good RFK.
I never really thought it was that good.
I mean, when I first saw you, that was the bit that kind of stuck out to me.
Yeah, really.
So I mean,
yeah,
you got the voice down.
I don't think.
Does RFK care to take a question today?
I can.
Mr. Health
He's all,
Secretary.
let me take a drink.
Mr. Health Secretary of the United States.
You ask him a question.
I'm gonna speak to RFK.
Oh, he's all.
Yeah.
So, Mr. RFK,
you have my bear meat.
Mr. RFK, Mr. Health Secretary of the United States. There's been a measles There's been a measles outbreak in Texas this year. Do you have any comment or concern about that?
I can't even spell measles. No, it can't. Is there a 3? What is measles? I think that measles is just it's just like a phone call. It's just like a ringer. Is that a rapper? Next question.
Is there any truth to the rumor that you think bear meat is the cure to cancer?
I think bear meat is the cure to most relationships. It is the one love drug that everybody can use. I approve this message.
Well, I think we're in good hands with Mr. Secretary of Health here. Thank you, sir.
You can reach me at Twitch, where I'll be cutting into my house-made beef jerky from hamsters that were disposed of by Petco. Thank you.
Well, yeah, that was. See, I mean, like, do I expect laughs? Maybe like one.
Give me one little.
Thankfully RFK came out and
Gave you some content.
I mean, that guy gives you some good content.
He really does, and I never
he's
really
a character.
I never thought that I was like, wow, that's you try impressions like the Trump one. Everyone does the Trump one,
yeah.
It's like
Tesla,
Everybody's saying.
Everyone's saying, "Hi, Elon. Elon's a good guy. He's the best guy. He's bigly. He's got bigly ideas."
But like, see, everyone does that, and then I was like, RFK. You don't know if you could do RFK until like you smoke like a pack of cigarettes, and then you like scream into a pillow.
Yeah, what is wrong with him? Like, what is wrong with his
He
voice?
has like a worm in his brain or something like that.
He's sounds weird.
But it's like they try to play it off like that's normal.
Yeah,
dude. But
recovered.
His face looks like
He looks
a piece
good
of
for his
beef
age.
jerky.
I know. I look great. It's all the Ozempic.
No,
Oh,
he
that
looks
was
like
pretty good.
jerky.
He does look like beef jerky. Maybe like alligator.
Yeah, I mean, he's a
That
character,
House of
man.
Jerky has
He's a
alligator.
lizard. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
He's a lizard
Wow.
person.
I think when
An
Netflix
iguana.
sees this, I think you might be getting the call, man. That RFK is pretty spot on. man.
SNL, you need somebody to, I don't know, just make your guys' show a little bit, more political. I can do that.
Wow, I sure really want that.
We were watching the documentary for SNL. Remember?
Yeah.
I was bored of it. But
Never mind.
But
Great
you know what?
segue.
I guess because I know it now, I don't
Yeah.
really know it from way back then. So I don't know. Maybe that was the whole thing.
Yeah,
I don't even know why I
It was
brought that
kind
up.
of hard. To
It was
watch.
a little dry.
Yeah, it was a little hard to watch with the cinematography and but
Yeah, that's what it was. They were
kinda
just
it was
like
all over the place. but
going all over the
Hey,
place.
shout out to them. Some people liked it.
Shout out to SNL. You guys are the real heroes.
So we always ask our entrepreneurs and our talent, what advice would you give to somebody maybe younger than you coming up in the game, maybe thinking about jumping into doing some stand-up comedy, getting that comedy world? What advice would you give them, knowing what you know now?
Stay in school.
Stay in school.
As long as you can.
Get a degree in comedy.
Yeah, stay in school. Be a cop. Honestly, do something else, please. I don't need more competition. No, honestly, I would say it's weird because now there's internet, Well, that sounds dumb. I've been around since the internet, but it's like, the social media is huge.
Right.
So it's like really like people get big, and you see a lot of people like that are big from social media. They'll do like skits, or they'll do jokes in their room, in their studio apartment or whatever, and they'll get really big, and then they start doing comedy. And it's like they didn't start out as comedians, they started out like doing like TikTok or something like that. They started dancing. start doing that.
I want to
know?
do the Kendrick.
What's the Kendrick?
Come on.
Oh,
The Super
okay.
Bowl one?
The one he's going like this to the side.
Oh, I was like, I'm just gonna wear bell bottom pants.
Yeah, I want Bobby to wear some.
Nah,
They're
I'm good.
back.
It looks so
Hey,
cute.
if you do it, I'll do it.
Yeah, you go first.
Okay. I'm in. We'll do it on the show.
He'll wear it to his next comedy show.
Yeah, why
Upcycle.
not?
Here I come.
But yeah, I tell young people to, just chase your dreams. And if this is something you want to do, like 100%, like look into it, like try to think about how you can get in locally, but also like what your like style is, like what makes you funny, what you feel like you can really resonate with the audience about consistently. That's what's most important. You got to like definitely do a lot of searching, like soul searching. No, I'm kidding. You got to do a lot of searching through social media to see like where they do open mics. If you're young, they probably can't get into like a brewery. I feel like breweries are like where they have a lot of open mics now.
Yeah.
Just go in there with like a fake mustache, get a fake ID and just tell them like, hey, I'm here. But yeah, I'm trying to think of like, I think like there's like a lot of theaters that might be like having tryouts where you are. I don't know. Okay. Ask ChatGPT. That's
right. There you go.
Yeah, don't ask me. What are we doing? Ask me. Ask ChatGPT.
Got the answers for everything.
My bestie.
Yeah. That's what I would do. I'm actually gonna ask ChatGPT.
See?
How to start a comedy career.
Okay, one last question. So when you're saying your vows, are you gonna throw something funny in there?
Oh,
are you gonna write your own vows and be like,
yeah.
You
You're
should
gonna get him in trouble.
And
I know.
No, you should mention about Dateline, like don't kill me in your, in your.
I should mention Dateline. Be like, don't worry, I've been keeping a journal about all your locations. I know the routes you take home.
See? Yeah.
I know where you live. I mean, I think I might. It's funny. I kind of helped her write her sister got married most recently, and then I helped her like write her speech. Almost said vows. Yeah, speech for that.
Okay,
So that worked out too. But yeah, I mean, I'll probably be serious.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what? Remember, I called your phone, and then you're like a voicemail, and I was like, dude, come on. I was expecting your voicemail to be funny.
Yeah, you thought. Yeah.
I was like, come on.
Like I'm 15. Like I'm gonna like be like, hello, are you there?
I do a skit on his voicemail.
Yeah, everyone's calling me and just being like, yeah, we're not hiring this guy.
True.
Oh, come on. If you make them laugh, make them laugh, they'll talk to you.
I don't
if it
answer
sucks,
my phone like if I don't recognize the number.
Oh God, this guy right here.
Yeah, exactly.
True. Never.
Yeah,
never.
right. You're like, oh God, this guy here, safety first. What do you like? Drive with like a seatbelt? Like you're Dateline till you die. Right?
I don't know no one at 1-800, so I ain't answering that.
Yeah, exactly. Even you had an area code that I was like, I don't know what that is.
Really? 760?
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh.
I don't know.
I'm dyslexic too. On top of being ADHD.
It happens.
It does, right? But that's what makes entrepreneurs.
Oh yeah, the ADHD.
You see, I brought that around.
It does.
Full
It
circle.
helps her. She gets stuff done, but then she crashes and burns on the other side. But we don't.
Yeah, right.
We don't talk about that part.
Hey,
Okay.
I know you. That's what caffeine's for. You crash out,
crash
you
and
come
burn,
back,
man. But that's the cycle of life,
It is.
Ooh, upcycle.
It is the upcycle of life.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So speaking of upcycle, where can our viewers and listeners find you? Find Upcycle? Where they looking to get tickets? Where can they find you?
So we have an Instagram. It's at Upcycled Comedy. That's. Do you want me to spell it?
No.
Okay.
I think.
Thank you.
I think.
Just
I think we
Upcycled.
got it.
Gotcha.
Comedy.
My Instagram is Elijah James. That's ELIJA 3 H's James. It's like Elijah James.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
Like, ha
see?
ha.
I thought about that, and I was like, it's already taken. So, yeah. But yeah, you guys can follow me there, follow Upcycled there. We post when we're doing shows a lot. The lineups come out, sometimes they're like a little secret, but we got a lot of stuff in the works, a lot of irons in the fires. We're going to have like some pretty big comics coming out here soon.
Sweet.
So yeah, we'd love to see, more people come out, more local, just get this big comedy, like, scene growing. Who needs to go to Austin? Who needs Joe Rogan?
Keep it here,
Yeah, we
baby.
got
Keep
CV
it local.
Hustle.
That's
and
right.
downtown Indio, we got Upcycle Comedy. We're coming, people.
Yeah,
Coachella Valley's coming. So
damn
thanks for coming in, man. You're a legend.
No,
I think this is only gonna. I think this interview is only gonna make that go your legend grow. So
you guys are nice. I appreciate that. Yeah. Sometimes I always feel like I'm like, am I doing this the right way? And yeah, it's like moments like this, meeting people in these like situations. It really is reassuring and validating. So,
it was fate, man.
Yeah,
it was fate that we went to that show, and it was fate that I saw you do your RFK, and it was like, hey, we gotta get.
It was love at first
we
sight.
we gotta get that guy on the show, man. I need RFK on the show.
He said.
Yeah, if you ever want an RFK guest spot, I'll put in a call. I'll see if I
got
can
your guy,
get him in
man.
here, yeah.
I'll call his agent.
Yep,
Yeah,
that's right.
I can do some like breathing exercises for you too.
Oh,
RFK
nice.
loves those,
Awesome,
I love it.
Did you ever get that funnel cake after the show?
Heck yeah, I did.
Okay.
And I got a photo. But when I first met Bobby,
You can't say 40.
all he drank was 40s.
Oh,
I'm
really?
from Indio, man. What do you want
He
from
used to
me?
double fist it,
I'm
remember?
from Indio. What do you want? That's how we grew up, man.
Exactly.
We didn't
like-
drink milk. We drank Old English.
I was like, that's.
We didn't drink milk.
And I was like, such a man.
Yeah, back in my day,
It's
all,
probably-
all these progressive milks. These
Yeah,
days.
yeah,
I
I
had
know.
old English milk.
True.
I had Cobra.
Well, thanks for putting me out there on blast, honey.
Aw, those are the good old days,
Yeah,
man.
but Elijah, thanks for coming in, man. We really,
Yeah,
really
thank
had
you. I
fun.
appreciate it.
You're hilarious. Everybody go check him out. He's even funnier on stage. I gotta say. So if you found some value in today's show, people, you know the routine. Like, subscribe, and follow. And we'll see you next time on CV Hustle.